Thank you. So I want to let everybody know that I'm not a big public speaker. As a matter of fact, I really do not care to do it, but I have learned over the years that you have to get out of your comfort zone if you're going to grow. And so here I go. I want to first start off by thanking Pam. I mean, she's been a friend of mine, a business partner. She works in our office and she makes the office a fun place to be. I also want to really take time and thank our team. We've got an amazing team. They're all eager to grow, to get better at their craft. And they're just a fun group of people to be around. And Pam and I both enjoy spending time together with them. We would be remiss if we didn't reach out and say thanks to Steve Cooper and Terry. Their example and friendship has been invaluable to us, and we so appreciate them. And then Darren and Stephanie, I mean, their tenacity and their persistence, their presentation the other night, I thought, Darren, just stop. You're already successful, and it's pretty amazing that they had that kind of stick-to-itiveness and that kind of teamwork as well. I am so appreciative. I mean, I've seen a lot of leaders over my years. I've seen a lot of leadership. And I just can't say enough about Jamie and Leanne and what they've done in creating this business and building it for us, and also for their ability to stand up for themselves, to not be bullied, to not be pushed around. And I really believe strongly, in what they do in their mission. And that's one of the reasons that we wanted to partner with them. I also would be very ungrateful if I didn't thank the home office. The people at the home office, their skill, what they do for us so that we can build teams and help families. I am so impressed with the home office team. So let's get on. So the topic that I have selected to talk about today is just go to work. So what does this phrase say to you? Obviously, it's going to say different things to different people, depending on where you came from and where you are in your career. But to me, the whole concept of just go to work, it means take action, do something, move forward. I think it's so important that we're looking at how can I change and how can I move forward? And it all comes back to just going to work. Zig Ziglar said, you don't have to be great to start. You just have to start to be great. Next, the next bit I want to talk about is kind of my insight of 32 years in this business, my personal experience, my observations over that period of time. And I guess I have a question for you. My 32 years of experience and my observations, are you interested? Do you want to hear about that? I can't hear you. I hope so. So what I want to do is I want to help you understand that none of us were born in this business. All of us came from somewhere else. For many of us, we came here because we just wanted a chance. We had a dream that we wanted to get better. We wanted to improve. We wanted to provide our families with more. We had dreams of something happening. Now, there's a really wise man. His name is Spencer W. Kimball. And this is one of the things that he said. Dream beautiful dreams and then work to make those dreams come true. If you look at it from a scriptural standpoint, it says, faith, if it hath not works, is dead. I mean, we can't see people that are hungry or cold and just say, oh, go your way and be full. Go away and be clothed. We've got to do something. So the same thing with our business, same thing with our careers. We need to say, we've got to do something. We've just got to go to work. So as we start businesses, we have hopes. We have hopes that we're going to be successful. We want to succeed. But what I've found over the years in the business is hopes and wants, they just don't have the power to sustain us long term. As soon as difficulties and challenges come our way, we start to doubt ourselves. We may even find ourselves saying things like, who am I trying to fool? This business isn't for me. I'm not the right kind of person. This business is for those privileged people, for the smart people. And sometimes we get to a point where we say, I just surrender. I'm going to go back and I'm going to get a real job. And we can't give in. We have to continue to persevere. The reason that I have said things like this is because I felt this kind of way in the past. I've had times early in my career where I wanted to give up. I wanted to go get a real job. Now, I felt that way in the past. And the important thing here is it's in the past. We have to find a way to move through that, even if it comes to, talking and speaking or whatever. The reason I don't feel that way is because I made a conscious effort. I made a conscious effort to change, to move from who I was to who I wanted to become. Also, I learned from other people that we just need to really be given a chance. That's all. And the other thing is, what other people think of us, what other people think of me is none of my business. They can have all the thoughts that they want, and it does not change where I am and where I want to go. A big reason that I changed over my career is because I became aware of my why. Okay. I knew what I wanted. So by a show of hands, now, come on, I need the show of hands. I need you to participate. Okay. How many of you, okay, want to succeed? How many of you hope to be successful? Okay. I guess the question again is why? Like, we talk about goal setting and we talk about planning and all these types of things. If anything that you could spend time with in your quiet hours is, why are you here? Okay. You need to know why you're doing this. Again, it's been my experience that if you said yes to either of those questions that you hope and that you want, the chances of you becoming successful is slim to nil. And Slim has left town. Okay? It's my opinion that in order for us to succeed or excel at anything in life, we need to know why. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I leaving my family? Why am I going out there? Why am I doing this? Over the years, I have had a bunch, okay, of desires and a bunch of whys in my life. But one thing I have never had is a desire to be average and ordinary. I don't care what aspect of my life, I've always wanted more from whatever I've done, okay? This is one of my favorite sayings. Desire is the motivating force that moves one to action. All else is merely a wish, a want, or a hope. And when I came to understand the difference, me personally, that I had lots of wishes, I had wants, I had hopes, I wanted a chance. But when I came to zero in on I need to have my desire, then everything got out of the way. I moved forward, okay? So now back to my main topic. Just go to work. When I say just go to work, the first person I'm speaking to is myself. Okay? I have to take ownership of that. Now, since we partnered with Experior about 18 months ago or so, I've been asked by a number of people, has your success in financial services been because you guys have access to, or a lot of wealthy people or the affluent people in the Okanagan? Well, I'm here to say a resounding no. That is not the answer. In preparing this presentation, I remember Ryan Tongs saying that he had seen an app count report on the Experior back office. And I had never seen that before a couple of weeks ago. So I decided that I was going to go check it out. And when we went to that report, I was amazed. Last year, 2020, I personally submitted 162 investment cases, totaling more than $4 million of new deposits. Now, if I take that $4 million that I personally did, and I've divided by the 162 cases, it works out to about $25,000 per case. So I'm not dealing with the wealthy, okay? And when I looked at that report, I was also so incredibly pleased to find out that there was Jacob DeLange. He was number 6 on that list, okay? And he ended up being in the top 10 personal production last night. And then we have Dennis Talbot up in Dawson Creek, way up there, okay? He was number 9, and he was the 19th largest personal producer, okay, in investments. And then we have Brandon Merwin here in Kelowna. I mean, he's just an upstanding, amazing individual. If one day I look forward to him telling you his story. And he was like the 3rd top or whatever personal producer last night. Then we went and we looked at our agency, our team production, that same report. And our team, we did 377 cases and it composed of about $11.7 million of new business on the books. And again, if I take that 11.7 million and I divide it by the 377 households or individuals or cases, that works out to about $31,000 per case. So we're still not like in that affluent, okay? These are not dealing with just the affluent. I think that almost all of us would agree. Every person that we help, it's important, and it's important for them. And so, now don't get me wrong. I mean, we like working with the affluent. Sometimes in our industry, we get this kind of noble dialogue where we say, oh, well, we help the underserved. We help the ones that are left behind. We help the ones that are forgotten about. Most certainly, we want to help anybody and everybody that we can. But what's amazing is the wealthy and the affluent also need our help and appreciate what we do. Excuse me, please. Another wise individual, his name was David O. McKay. He said, let us realize that the privilege to work is a gift. The power to work is a blessing. And the love of work is success. Now, all of you that have a desire to do something more, a desire to change and improve, a desire to make a difference, stand up. Now, I'm serious. Wherever you are, in whatever city across Canada, if you have a desire to make a difference, to change, to improve, I want you to stand up this very moment. Thank you. Now, what we have to understand is that we also have to just stand up and go to work. There's so many opportunities for us to complain and justify and rationalize. And every problem that we have can be solved if we just get up and go to work. In conclusion, I want to leave this with you. After 32 years in the business, seeing all kinds of distribution models, I believe there is no better company in financial services than Experior Financial Group. It is built for the entrepreneur who desires to build a business and leave a legacy for them and their family. I want to thank you. As nervous as I was, it was almost like I was going on my first date again. I was so nervous, but I just feel so fortunate to be part of this company. And at this point in time, I want to turn the balance of my time over to my sweetheart so she can share some thoughts. Thank you very much.
Okay, I want to share with you a real life experience that comes from a book called Unstoppable. Andrea, this might be, I know it's not written by you because it's written by Cynthia Kersey, but it's wonderful. It made me think of you. In that book, there's 45 stories, and I read it 20 years ago, and I remembered one of them, and that's what I want to share with you. It's a true story. It's about Dick and Judy Hoyt. They welcomed their third son into their family in 1962, but there were complications. The umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck, and he was born a spastic quadriplegic with cerebral palsy. The doctor said that he will be a vegetable his whole life and they should put him in an institution. They told the parents that he would only bring them heartache, but Dick and Judy ignored the experts' advice, and they determined to raise him like they would any other child. They named him Rick. Learning to live with a child with severe disabilities was considered beyond the capabilities of almost any parent. But Dick and Judy were not typical parents. They set out to prove that disabilities were merely challenges and not impassable barriers. Living with Rick took determination, perseverance, gumption, and a whole lot of work. Judy taught Rick his letters and his numbers, and they could tell by the look in his eyes that he was a very intelligent boy. They included him on all of the family projects, just like any family would do. His brothers would build a treehouse, and he'd watch them. Then they'd haul him up in the treehouse to enjoy it. The family would go swimming. One of his brothers would toss him in the pool, and then the other brother would jump in, or maybe his dad would jump in and pull him out. And the onlookers would freak out, and then they'd do it all over again. Rick would come up smiling and laughing. He loved to be part of the family. Communication was limited. It boiled down to Rick being able to nod his head yes and shake his head no. Professionals said he'd never be able to speak, but the Hoyts, they didn't believe that. They worked hard and raised $5,000 and then donated it to the Tufts University to help build an interactive communicator. When Rick was 12, the communicator was done and it was ready for testing. It was during the Stanley Cup playoffs. The engineers from Tufts and his family were there. Would his first words be, "Hi, Mom," or maybe, "I love you, Dad"? As they waited excitedly, Rick used his head to touch the switch, spelling out, "Go Bruins." They all laughed. The family witnessed Rick grow. They knew that he had an interest in sports, so they took him fishing, canoeing. They even took him rock climbing. They just strapped him on his dad's back. The interactive communicator played a huge role. It enabled him to speak. Even though he could speak, he wasn't allowed to go to school until a law was passed, which said that all children had the right to attend school. So he did. During this period of remarkable personal growth, when he was in high school, Rick found a catalyst for an incredible athletic career. When he was 16, he learned about a 5-mile race that was held as a benefit for a college student who was in an accident. He went to his dad. He said, "Dad, I want to run the race." His dad said, "You're crazy." Well, he didn't say he's crazy. He was in shock. His dad was 40. He jogged a couple of days a week, but he was hardly a seasoned runner. It meant a lot to Rick. So his dad said, "Okay, we'll give it a try." After the race, Dick could hardly move for 2 weeks. He was in agony. As he was soaking his body in Epsom salts, his son came home from school, and he typed this message that would literally change his dad, Dick's life forever. "Dad," he said, "when I'm running, it feels like I'm not handicapped anymore." Dick knew what he had to do. If Rick wanted to be an athlete, Dick would loan him his arms and legs and make it happen. But to do so, there was a lot of work involved. Just going basically to the last end of this, Rick and his father, Dick, did what was needed to be done. They worked hard, they came over barriers, and they began to run. They ran in the Boston Marathon, even though they weren't accepted the first time. Then they ran in a triathlon. And this was huge to me because Dick, the father, he hadn't been on a bike since he was 6, and he didn't even know how to swim. So overcoming multiple odds and doing what the naysayers say that they couldn't, they ran an Ironman in Hawaii. This is an incredible story. I hope that you all might be able to read it. How determined are you? Do you persevere or just give up if someone has to postpone an appointment? Do you spend too much time thinking over what you're going to say to where you don't even make an appointment? Or do you just go to work? Dick didn't focus on his limitations, his age, his cycling skills, or even that he didn't know how to swim. He focused on his why, and he went to work. They were not the only ones that benefited. Many people that saw them and more people that heard about them, and now even you have benefited in some small way for their efforts. Providing for you and your family is a big deal. Helping families and individuals to have financial security is a big deal. Changing lives and futures is a big deal. Doing it with friends and associates that you meet and love and care for is a very big deal. Leaving a legacy for your family is a big deal. Dick's words were, "There is nothing that we cannot do together." And I believe that that applies to us at Experior. So go to work and become unstoppable.